Calling Renville, Wellington. December 20th, 2017. 10:41 hours.
Hello.
Hi, is this Renville?
Yes, it is.
Renville, my name is Chris Wagner. I'm a detective with the Carver County Sheriff's Office in Chaska, Minnesota. Hi.
Okay.
Is this a good time?
Well, I am dealing with another police matter right now in a protective situation. If you can give me a quick brief, I can tell you how quickly I can answer this, that, or the other thing.
Okay, all right. So I am doing the investigation into Prince Rogers Nelson, and I came across a phone number and your name, and I was curious inquiring if you were working with him in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes, I will.
Okay. And so my questions would be if you would have a phone number that I had left a number at that message too, and it possibly was your number, that it was a 929 phone number area code?
Oh, that was my U.S. cell phone number.
Okay, the 929-256-0726. Okay.
Correct. Yeah, that's my U.S. number. Now I have what I call FIDO roam, so I just use the one phone worldwide.
Okay, so that was
you can always reach me at this number.
Okay, so that was just a number you used just when you were in the U.S., which would explain why some of the phone calls were to the like a Royal Canadian Bank and some other things.
Right.
Would you have any information regarding anything that had happened that weekend that would be useful for me to contact you at another time, or if there was any time that we could talk that would be...
There was nothing that I saw. Like I say, I'm his out of city guy.
Okay.
So I just prepped his in and his out.
So you just would do shows for him, like you just were you part of the motorcade then when they met at the airport?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and then go ahead.
I tell you what, can you give me a call tomorrow in the day sometime?
Sure, definitely. Okay, and then we could touch base with you then. Okay, sounds good, Renville. I appreciate your time.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right.
Calling Renville, Wellington, 12/21/2017 at noon.
Hello.
Hi, Renville?
Yes.
Detective Chris Wagner from Carver County in Minnesota.
Hi.
Hi. Is this a better time to speak with you?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Very good. Well, I appreciate you speaking with me. I know that we just spoke briefly yesterday, and you confirmed that you were working security, and so I just wanted to try to see if I could get some more information. And that number. Well, first of all, can I get your full information, your full name and date of birth, just for our records?
Okay. It is Renville. Did you... Hang on. Sorry. Your name again, you mentioned it, but I didn't get that.
I'm sorry, it's Detective Chris, and Chris is with a C?
C-H-R-S?
Yep, Wagner, W-A-G-N-E-R. And I'm with the Carver County Sheriff's Office in Chaska, Minnesota.
Carver?
Carver County, C-A-R-V-E-R. Carver County. And
that's
in Chaska, Minnesota. Yeah. My desk number, I'm calling you from my cell phone because I'm not able to call Canada on our desk line. So, but this is my cell phone number, 952-457-6475. But my desk number, do you want my desk number also?
Oh, sure.
It's 952-361-1875.
Okay, cool. don't mind. Hold on, the date of birth.
Yeah.
April 5.
Okay.
1963.
Okay. And what's your middle name, Renville?
Lloyd.
Okay. Thank you. So you had told me yesterday that this number, this 929 number 2560726, used to be a number that you used to use when you used to work in the United States, but you don't.
Yeah, I still have the number, but when I'm here in Canada, the phone is off, and really now with the plans we have here,
Okay.
I just use this phone worldwide now.
Okay. Well, I left you a message that you can probably disregard on that number asking.
Oh, okay.
It went straight to voicemail, so.
Yeah, the phone is usually off, and I just use it as a backup phone.
Okay. How long have you worked for Prince?
Oh boy, it's been sporadic because I do have other jobs, so it's off and on.
Okay.
First time I worked for him was his Welcome to Canada tour back in, that may have been, one of the easiest ways to look it up.
That's fine. I can look it up too. But that was it a couple years ago? More than a few years?
You're looking at 2013.
Okay. And so when he would do shows in Canada, was that primarily when you would assist, or was it also, and I know the recent, you had said yesterday you were in Atlanta in April of last year also. Did you travel a lot with him?
Again, it was sporadic. If they needed somebody, I may get a call or may not get a call. That's just the nature of the business in a whole, right?
Right. So, okay. So, you would work with Kirk Johnson then primarily? Or would he be your contact? Or was there somebody else that you would go through?
Primarily, yeah.
Okay. In your time, did you see anything that, obviously, you know, our investigation is into his death and trying to determine where he may have received or obtained any of these opiates. And so have you seen anything during your travels with him or anything suspicious? Or
No, that's why I was very surprised, because I was supposed to see him in a few days, after the Friday trip.
Okay.
And it was my wife that brought to my attention that it's on CNN. That's what got my attention.
Okay. So when you would meet, so for Atlanta, were you in a motorcade? How many vehicles were there? Was there only two, or was there more than two?
There would only be, I'm trying to recall, not to get my wires crossed, the last incident with him, the last meeting.
Yeah, it would have been April 14th.
Right, so that would have only been 2 or 3, and I'm just trying to recall the FBO, how many cars we had pull up. I think it would have only been 2 or 3 because it was only him doing a solo tour, per se.
Okay.
When the band's with him, it's obviously a much larger entourage.
And then how does that work? You arrive at the airport and meet him, and
Correct.
okay. And so then do you go directly to the show, or do you make stops, or do you pick things up for him?
Directly to the show.
Okay. And so that night, were there any stops that were made after the show or before?
No.
No stops. Okay.
No. We were in Atlanta.
And so.
Go ahead.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to take notes here at the same time. Were you with him in his car, or was Kirk Johnson with him?
Kirk was with him in his car.
Okay. And so who was in your...
I'm trying to recall the motorcade.
Okay.
Because I can picture the building, and that was the... picture the building. I was trying to remember the name of it. Happens when you get old.
The Fox Theater?
Thank you.
No worries.
They pulled in around behind, and there were two vehicles. So yes, I was in the second vehicle. Kirk was with me in the first.
Okay.
I'm just recalling our ingress.
No worries. So was there any other bodyguards other than you and Kirk there?
No.
Okay.
Outside of the building people.
Yeah. Okay. So then this might sound like a strange question, but did you recall by chance confronting one of the pilots about their cell phone, maybe taking a photo or something? At the airport? I'm trying to identify. One of the pilots had mentioned that a bodyguard had thought that they were taking photos of Prince, and so the person had checked their cell phone. And I'm just wondering if that was you or somebody else.
That probably would have been me, and if it would have, that may have been. I can't remember if it was in the plane or in the actual FBO waiting area.
Okay, so it could have been possible.
That was my job, and also Kirk's one of my primary things, just to keep people from, taking any pictures of any sort.
Okay, well then it probably may have been you then. The pilot had just mentioned there was another presumed bodyguard who I was trying to identify, who was at the airport, and he had his phone out because they were going to text Kirk, or they were going to get the number from Kirk to find out when the show was over. He was going to let them know, and so he had just mentioned that this other bodyguard had checked his phone to make sure there weren't any pictures. So that could have been you then.
This was at the venue, you're saying?
He didn't tell me. I think it was right at the airport, right when they picked Prince up. I think they were standing outside the airport, or the pilots were, because the pilots were going to a hotel to wait, he said. And that Kirk was...
that would have been me.
Okay. Then that solves that puzzle for me. Okay. So, have you ever had any encounters, I guess, where Prince has asked you to run any errands or pick anything up for him or anything?
Only food.
Okay.
Yeah. And that wasn't on this run.
Okay.
That was just a one-time food run.
In the past, though?
Yeah, in the past. The only thing I brought to him on that night at the Fox Theater was soup. One was ginger, and I can't remember what the other one was. But that was prepared right in the kitchen area in the Fox Theater.
Okay.
Okay. Do you mind telling me a little bit about what your job entails when you're doing that kind of detail?
Sure.
Okay.
I am his, I call it the out-of-town guy.
Okay.
So for this run, his man and piano, I call it, tour, I arrive prior to him in whatever city. I advance the venue, I advance vehicles, I advance the after-show party venue if there is one.
Because after I call,
So,
usually you can go back.
Get all that done.
When you say advance the vehicles and the show, is that just like a like you check everything out?
Yeah. I like the vehicles.
Okay.
Proper inflation. It's like a circle check if you're doing armored car.
Okay.
Right. So
Well, we could call squad checks, I guess, back in the day when I worked in squad.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure everything's operational, safe, things like that.
Right. The thing smells good.
Okay.
The driver hasn't been drinking. He's not overweight. There's gas in the tank.
Okay.
So
Got
I'm
it.
gonna have to stop somewhere. Expose him. So circle check the vehicles. Look at the venue, make sure his room is ready, make sure there's no obstructions for our in. From our drop point, stay in touch with the production or tour manager for our arrival in to make sure that, again, there's no obstructions for our in.
But I didn't resubmit it.
If there's a after-party venue, same thing. Liaise with the manager of the venue. Where are we sitting? Where is he going to be playing or performing? Who will be serving him? How are we getting in from, drop point to where's his seating area? Who will be serving us? Those kind of things.
Okay.
Then head to the FBO.
So I
get him in the motorcade. Get him back to the venue and or hotel, depending. For this, it was just the venue. Get him in, get him on stage.
But there's nothing.
We brief the in-house security on what's expected. He plays, get him out of the building to either after party or FBO. And away they go. And then probably the following morning, or usually a few hours from that, because it is morning, I fly back home.
Okay.
Identifies as
So, you've never seen anything, you only have gotten him food, nothing that you've ever seen was suspicious or strange circumstances?
Surprise, yeah.
Okay.
I've never seen him take anything of that nature.
Okay. And you've never seen anybody, I got to meet with him, or I know he was with Judith Hill that night in Kirk, but for the most part, if somebody wants to visit him, they go through you or Kirk?
Correct.
Okay.
Both of us are either at the door, and Kirk knows his guest list of who's allowed in and who is not.
Okay. And that night, was there anybody that you hadn't seen before, or anybody that wasn't?
Well, all celebrity-type people, like CeeLo Green was there.
Okay.
So, they had a little after-show meet and greet with a handful of people.
Okay, so that would be kind of hard to control who was all coming. I mean, they were all pre-approved of people that were coming in. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there anything, Renville, that I haven't asked you that you think would be important for us to know in regards to the investigation?
How do I know when it was signed?
You'll get an email.
No, like I said, I was very surprised that, he was on any of that, because, like I said, he leaves it all on the stage, right? He gives his all.
Yeah.
So, he just may have been completely drained, given that, he wasn't feeling 100%, but he still goes out and gives his all.
I never met Oh, I'm sorry. I never met him. He lived in Chanhassen in our county. Was that typical for his, like his behavior? Was he amped up after shows or before or all the time, or did his mood fluctuate a lot?
No, not at all.
Okay.
His mood, he's very low-key, very soft-spoken. It's almost like once he hits the stage, he transforms.
Okay.
And, that was very... I can say the same thing about... Do you know who Gord Downey Jr. is? I mean, Gord Downey, not Gord Downey Jr., he's the actor. Gord Downey, he's the lead singer for Tragically Hip up here in Canada.
No, I don't.
Passed away recently. But he was the same thing, very stoic, soft-spoken guy. And when he hits the stage, he just transforms into this, I call it this other person who's just vibrant and just connects with the crowd. And once he gets into his music, I see Prince the same way.
Okay, I've actually heard that same kind of description from a lot of different people we've talked to that kind of described him the same way. That okay, that it was he came alive on stage. Really?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate your time, Renville. This is my number, and I gave you my other number. If there's something after we hang up that, or later on that you think would be important for me to know, please feel free to give me a call and let me know.
No problem.
And if I have any other questions, do you mind if I give you a call again?
No, not at all.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, you put me at this number and voicemail here that I can pick up at any time. Yes.
Okay. Well, I greatly appreciate your time, and like I said, I was just trying to cross off. I had this number, this 929, and trying to identify where it came from. So I'm glad I finally was able to meet or talk with you, so I could figure out those parts. So, is there anybody you think that I should talk to that may have information?
I said it was myself, Kirk, any of his assistants,
Yeah.
You've spoken to all of them
Right,
already.
yeah. We've talked to them right away. All right, well, if you think of somebody that you think, if there's something that you think that I should know, that would be wonderful if you could just let me know.
Okay, so I guess it's still a big question mark as to what happened.
Well, I think we know what happened, but where we're just trying to find out information on where he was obtaining these these drugs. So just trying to follow up with some leads, and like I said, I had your number and was just trying to kind of figure out that portion of it. I knew that number, and I knew there was a person that questioned one of the pilots about the photos. So now that I know it's you, Renville, I'll put that off my list.
There you go.
So anyhow, I appreciate your time, sir, and have a happy holiday.
You too. Take care.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.